Brad, manager of Kidlington FC, and maybe a long time coming. You've been in and around the club for years. I mean, for people that don't know, what have you been doing before assigning yourself to manager at Kidlington Football Club?
Before management,
Yeah.
I came here when I was 19. Gordon Gary signed me on. I was 19 at the time. Yeah, came here when I was 19 and I loved it. Shock, I was injured. Got an injury and I was out all season. But pretty much all season. But I actually loved it, mate. Absolutely loved it. It was such a joy to be part of every player and playing for Gordon Geary and Appy at the time and H and all the others, and you know, Baz included in that one, and the committee members that were here at the time, and yeah, brilliant. And then after that season, I went a few seasons away from with other clubs, local clubs, as players do in Oxford. And then I came back late on my later 20s and played for Wilkie and Jules, and was part of that season, half of the season when they won the league at Step 5. And yeah, again, got another injury, broke my wrist, and then went elsewhere. And then it was later on, a couple of seasons ago now, and I came back as reserve team manager, mate. So.
And just your time on a word on your time as reserves manager. I mean, you've had some great memories, I can imagine.
Yeah. I mean, firstly, I want to say thank you for Baz for giving me the opportunity. Because I was assistant at Abingdon, and I remember ringing Baz and saying, look, I would like to come as a player manager for Eastie and Stowley at the time. And I remember saying this in the presentation even in my first season. It was such a quick turnaround. Eastie moved on and Stowley moved on, and then I became manager. I was like, whoa. But I loved it, mate. I absolutely loved it. We had a good bunch of players, and obviously the main aim was just to stay up, which we've done. And I would pretty much confidently say Step 6 down was quite tough. Like, that season was really tough, like Hartby in that league, and Pershaw and Milton, and you only have to look where them teams are now, and you know, and then Inkborough a couple of seasons ago as well. So, but yeah, I loved it, mate. And then obviously the main aim was to stay up, develop as many players as possible, and then win the intermediate, and we've done that. But the main thing I could say I'm proud of, mate, is creating a group that everyone loved playing for, even myself and the staff that I had, and being part of Kidlington as well. So.
You mentioned a quick turnaround. This time it's another quick turnaround after the departure of Aidan.
Yeah.
I'm now talking to the Kidlington first team manager.
Yeah.
Does that excite you?
Yeah, mate, yeah. I feel really overwhelmed, to be honest, Chaz. It hasn't quite sunk in, to be honest. It's really weird because there's a few people outside of football that I chat to, my best mates, and Lance being one of them. And I always said that Aidan and Craig were two people that I'd love to be assistants for, and it's just happened to be in the same season. So, yeah. Firstly, to say thank you for Craig for letting me come up, you know, from the Resis. Again, and thank you for Baz for doing that. And I've loved it, mate. Obviously, that, you know, of course I didn't want to go down. Of course, we worked so hard behind the scenes to try and keep us up. But I've learned a lot of them too. You know, they are brilliant coaches, the best around. You know, they are amazing at what them two do, and I learned a lot of them. But yeah, it has been a quick turnaround, mate.
Projections next season, you know, it's been a while, 9 years in fact, since we were back at Step 5.
Yeah.
This club obviously would love to operate back again at Step 4, but what are your projections for next season? How do you see the club improving on and off the field?
Firstly, obviously, I want us to be competitive, mate. You know, we're not here just we've got to stabilise, obviously. The club's going in a new direction. Preferably probably going to have a mixture of, you know, a youngest side and an experienced side, which ideally I'd love to have. And mate, of course I want to bounce back as quick as possible, Chaz. But what I would love to see personally is getting everyone down here again. When I was a player, when I came here again with Gordon, you know, that Bradwell stand was absolutely rammed.
Getting that sort of feel about the club again.
Yeah, I'd love to have that, mate. The Bradwell stand was absolutely rammed, you know, and we used to always shoot down this end purposely, second half, and take it to the opposition. And even when Jules and Wilkie was here as well, there was a good turnout here every week, you know. I want to get that back again, but obviously that comes from good performances and getting results on the board. You know, we play some good football with the Resis, and I definitely want to continue that again. I keep working hard at it. So as soon as pre-season comes around, it's really knuckling down what style that I like to play, and enforcing that on the players.
Pre-season's no joke. You know, it's tough as managers to recruit players, tough for players themselves.
Yeah.
You've only got so many weeks to prepare for that. What will you be doing in your preparations for pre-season? Not even the season itself, but for pre-season.
Oh, it's non-stop, mate.
Non-stop.
You know, it is non-stop. So My partner over there is looking at me, giving me daggers, thinking, I thought we was going to have a break. No, it's non-stop. It's just, you've got to get players in, you know. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. There's so many, as much as the local derbies is great to have with Abingdon, Milton, Ardley and the rest, it's going to be tough. Everyone's fighting for the same players, you know, but it's my job and the staff's job and this whole club to enforce to the players that, you know, this is the place to be.
For those players that are fighting, for the clubs that are fighting for the same players, you know, your Abingdons, your Northlees, your Miltons, what is your unique selling point as to why they should come to Kidlington and not Abingdon, or not Northlees, or not Milton?
Well, tough question, mate. I'm an honest person, Chaz. You know, I like to say I'm a likeable character. The lads that have always played for me in the Resis and the lads that I had in the first team, well, I was assistant, but the time that I stepped in for Craig for that little bit of time, I think every single player that's played for me has said they've enjoyed it. You know, I'm an honest person, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I will feed that to the players as well. I'm always transparent with what I do, and I think the main thing in football, especially non-league football, you've got to enjoy playing football. If it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, you've got to enjoy coming out of your house and coming down here and playing football, mate. So that's one thing I can guarantee any player that comes and plays for me. And of course, I want to be competitive, mate, you know, but trying to get the right players through the door. But we're working hard at it, mate. I'm going to be non-stop.
Brad, all the best, mate.
All right, mate. Thank you.